What makes Custom Robo unique? Nintendo has forgotten a handful of its franchises over the years. F-Zero, Advance Wars, and yet another is Custom Robo. Spanning only 5 games starting on the N64, it didn't find its way outside of Japan until the GameCube with Custom Robo Battle Revolution released in 2004, and the final installment being Custom Robo Arena for the DS released in 2007. Despite the series only having a small number of titles, it was regarded highly enough to be released for the iQue player in China and saw a port to the Wii Virtual Console in Japan. Loved by its fanbase all over the world, it's sad to see the series without a new installment in over 10 years. Maybe it just didn't sell well enough, or maybe Nintendo simply ran out of ideas, but no doubt a modern sequel or HD remake would be lovingly accepted by its players. What makes Custom Robo unique is, unironically, its focus on customization, that when mixed with easy-to-learn controls, allows players to play however they like, with thousands of different combinations to try. Between the story, multiplayer, and arcade modes, Custom Robo is a fairly simple game. Players venture off on a journey of crime and devious futuristic criminals. The story themselves may be cheesy, and in fact is padded to fill a lot of time. Ultimately though, it allows players to unlock many of the parts needed to customize their Robo, and in order to unlock these parts, players need to win battles. And it's this combat that earned the series the popularity and following that it has. The combat is simple in explanation, but oddly difficult in practice. Robos land on an isometric plane and can move and jump around freely. It emphasizes the importance of cover and can even have platforms that make for vantage points. Some maps are balanced and symmetrical, while others are dynamic, with moving parts and/or an asymmetric layout. The camera also rotates constantly to avoid obstructing the player's view. As for the arsenal at players' fingertips, there are 3 weapon types: gun, bomb, and pods. The gun part is the main weapon that can be shot fairly quickly and automatically towards the target. Main variables include firing rate, area of effect, and homing capability. And others deal lots of damage or crowd control the opponent at the cost of range and ease of use. The bomb part is the secondary fire that is used more like artillery, usually arcing over cover. By default, it is aimed towards the opponent, but players can hold the trigger to move and aim the cursor on the map. In the heat of the moment, trying to lead an opponent with a bomb can be difficult, but with mastery, it can become a powerful tool. Tertiary fire are the pods. These drop behind the player in most cases and can be launched by simply pressing L. Their behavior varies, some drop in place while others roll forward quickly in a target direction or follow a specific flight path. The important aspect of them is their homing ability. They can be sent as drones to apply pressure in corners, but some can also be used aggressively. Although these 3 items are just for the weapons, there are 2 final parts that players can pick: the body and the legs. Body parts are the chassis of the Robo. Main stats include ground speed, aerial mobility, and number of jumps, and damage bonuses. There is also a close-range physical attack that for some can be used for damage, but others can use it to escape close-range pressure. Picking the body is where players start to define their playstyle. Bodies that do more damage or take less damage usually have lackluster mobility, but some Robos can move very quickly, making them hard to hit, but they take more damage. Leg parts simply augment the body's mobility attributes, making some air dashes last longer or increasing jump height and speed, or they can increase ground speed. It's a lot to consider up front, but the weapons also need to complement the body's attributes. This is where the features meld together into a beautiful hybrid of simple combat and emphatic customization. Every single choice of the 5 parts is important as it defines how players will fight. Although in the story certain parts can help counter opponents, in arcade, players need to master their specific loadout. The guns are the core to a player's offense, denoting how a player has to approach situations. Do they prefer the range and spread of the 3-way gun, or do they want a powerful but risky weapon to use, such as the sniper or the close-range drill and flame guns? The variety of how each gun plays then affect the consideration for bombs and pods. Bombs can be used to cut off choke points like with the wall bomb, or they can be used for firing over cover with just the standard bomb, or players can play aggressively with the straight bomb. Pods share in this utility, such as the wall pods, but there are also aggressive options, anti-aerial pods, and even heavy homing pods that run into close range to apply pressure. And then the body and legs affect the movement options. Movement plays such a big role because it's how players dodge. Air dashing can become frantic in a pinch, and players will feel the need to jump a lot. There's so many ways to approach an opponent that close range, mid-range, long-range, aerial, and ground-based strategies are all viable. Guns, bombs, and pods can even have slightly alternate firing styles when fired from the air. Players can define themselves, and although surely some players may min-max a top strategy, but there are illegal parts, which stats can be so powerful that they are used to simply challenge players with the AI. For every player, there are a lot of parts to try, use, and master. Throughout the adventure and even in the arcade and multiplayer modes, with over dozens of options for every part, every player will battle the way they like. Considering the variety within each part type, there are thousands of combinations to consider. Some parts will work better with others, and some of the more niche weapons can find play due to other niche parts. With non-stop variety and combat that can be a competitive one-on-one or a hectic four-way battle, it's almost like Custom Robo is a mashup of chaotic party action and competitive combat where every player can play how they'd prefer. That is what makes Custom Robo unique. If you enjoyed this video, click that like button, and if you'd like to see more videos that discuss what makes any video game stand out, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.